What's going on YouTube? Back with another video. Today, we're going to do a sports topic today. Today, I'm going to talk about my Mount Rushmore of NASCAR drivers. A little backstory on me. I'm a huge motorsports fan. My first love is drag racing, but I love NASCAR. I love Formula One as well. So later on, I may be doing a video of my Mount Rushmore of drag racing, my Mount Rushmore of F1 drivers. Today is NASCAR. So without further ado, at number 4, the man in black, Dale Earnhardt, 76 career wins, 7 championships. What's there not to say about Dale Earnhardt? I mean, to some people he is the GOAT, and I wouldn't argue it. I just don't agree with it. He was a great driver. He was super aggressive. He would put it all on the line, and that's what I love most about Earnhardt. He's certainly one of the best to ever do it. We saw his greatness on display so many times throughout his career. The pass in the grass. You know, I still love that move. You know, like they said, a lot of guys would have lost that car in that situation. Earnhardt held on to it. So without a doubt, definitely deserves a spot on this list at number 4 for me, though. Number 3, Jimmie Johnson, 5-time, 7 championships, tied with Earnhardt and Petty. But what stands out to me about Jimmie Johnson is the fact that Jimmy won them in the playoff era. He won 5 straight championships, which is obviously has never been done before. He's the only one to do it. I don't think we'll ever see anybody do that again. But what really stood out to me is the fact that Jimmy did it in the playoff era. And to me, winning championships in the playoff era is so much harder because all it takes is one race and you're out of it. Or, you know, to be fair, you can also be in it with one race, but with the playoffs, you have to be incredibly consistent. And further backstory, I am not a fan of the playoff era. I wish they would go back to the old method. Or if they're going to do the playoffs, then they need to reduce the number of drivers. I think 12 is too many. If you're in 12th place, in my opinion, you shouldn't be contending for a championship. But I digress. That is my biggest compliment to Jimmie Johnson, though, is the fact that he won 5 in a row in the playoff era, and obviously he ended up winning 7 overall. So yeah, Jimmy is definitely one of the GOATs, and he comes in at number 3 for me. My number 2, the King, Richard Petty, the most dominant driver in the history of NASCAR. The records that this man has, they will never ever be broken. Like when they talk about records that'll never be broken, his should come up a whole lot more than what they do. 200 wins for a career, we're never going to see that again. 27 wins in one season, we're never going to see that again. 10 wins in a row, we're never seeing that again. Quite similar thing. Like I said, the most dominant driver in the history of NASCAR. Honestly, with that resume, he should be number 1. But the guy that I have ahead of him, in my opinion, pound for pound, was a better driver. Which leads me to my number 1, none other, the Silver Fox, David Pearson. In my opinion, he is the greatest driver in NASCAR history. This guy was just brilliant behind the wheel. He only raced in 574 races, and he won 105 of them. For further context, Richard Petty raced in 1,184 races and won 200. Both are impressive, but to win 105 races out of 574, that is insane. And that does not account for the top 5s that he finished in. That does not count for the top 10s. He won 3 championships, 66, 68, 69. And just to show how dominant he was, I can't remember what year it was, but I believe it was at Daytona. He had the lead on Petty last lap, slows down, moves out the way, lets Petty pass him, gain a big lead on him, and then walks him down and passes him on the last lap to win the race. He did that to Richard freaking Petty and won the race. Like, you will never see that done ever again. Name me a driver that could do that. I don't think nobody could do that. I mean, David Pearson was just brilliant. And then not only that, the versatility. The man won on super speedways, intermediate, short tracks, dirt tracks. He could just drive the wheels off of anything. So in my opinion, he is the greatest driver in NASCAR history. So just to run down my Mount Rushmore of NASCAR drivers, at number 4, the Intimidator, Dale Earnhardt. Number 3, 5-time Jimmie Johnson. Number 2, the King, Richard Petty. And my number 1 NASCAR driver of all time, the Silver Fox, David Pearson. And a couple honorable mentions that I would throw in there. Jeff Gordon, I was debating on putting Jeff in my top 5, or top 4, excuse me. But in the end, I didn't. It's going to sound a little premature, and he's my all-time favorite driver. But Kyle Busch is one of the GOATs, in my opinion. Pound for pound, one of the best drivers we've ever seen. This man has an absurd amount of talent, in my opinion. I mean, and he displays it routinely. Whether he has the best car or he doesn't, we've seen Kyle Busch's brilliance on display many times. I know a lot of people don't like him. I love Kyle Busch. I love the fact that he hates to lose, but what I love more about him is his driving talent. He has unmatched driving talent, in my opinion. Cale Yarborough, the first man to win 3 straight championships. Definitely got to throw him in there. And I want to throw another name out there. He didn't have a lot of success due to the era and what the things they had to face. But I want to throw some other Wendell Scott, the first African American driver in NASCAR. Uh, he raced back during the '60s, during segregation, during like the racist time, so to speak. And I don't mean to play the race car, but I just want to give him some love, man, because he doesn't get as much as I feel like he should. So I just kind of want to throw Wendell Scott in there. He was actually quite a driver, though. He had a lot of top tens, a lot of top fives. He didn't win a lot of races because he didn't have the money, and he kind of had to battle through a lot of adversity through the times he was racing in. But what he was able to accomplish, the fact that he didn't he had to make do with makeshift tools, that he had to battle the other drivers kind of going against them, less funds. And he just doesn't get as much recognition, obviously, because his stats aren't great. But considering what he went through, I just wanted to give him a little love. Obviously, as an African American, that kind of resonates with me a little bit, and somebody who would love, who dreamed of, being involved in motorsports. Just giving a little love to a pioneer like him. So, I just wanted to give him some love as a really good driver. But let me know down in the comments who's your top 5 or top 4. What you think of my list? I'm curious to know how many people that had the Silver Fox in their list. And thanks for watching.